Yeah, let's go. Yeah. We came a long way. That's what the song say. And I can do all things. I can do all things. Yeah, I can do all things. Yeah. We came a long way. That's what the song say. And I can do all things. I can do all things. I can do all things. Yeah.
Now let's see what's going on here. Oh yeah. She's gonna go for sure. And exactly what I said I did not want to happen just happened on camera. So I want to come on here and talk about a topic that's been on my mind for probably the past 2 years. Something that a lot of my close friends know that I talk about often, and that is, why have I not been able to enjoy an old BMW like I was able to enjoy my Calypso 525 when it was stock, non-Vanos, no turbo? For some reason, that car, I have been chasing the feeling of owning that car for the past 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe even 3, and nothing seems to be filling the void that car has left me. I think a lot of people kind of talk about you're lucky and this and that, and I know I am, but you don't see like the long hours put into what to get these cars to what they are. So M3 Name is Josh came from basically years into, after this car first came along. There was no M3 Name is Josh when this car came around. This probably didn't happen till about 3-4 years later. So that's why it is kind of funny that M3 Name is Josh, but in reality, you'll kind of see more E34 stuff and honestly more non-M3 stuff from me. I was basically selling Air Jordans and clothes, and I was flipping them, and that's how I made all my money, and that's when the modifying kind of came to be with this car, and that's where kind of the money for that came. I found it was time to kind of get into another car to kind of further myself, and I had to ease my parents into allowing me to bring home a second car. But at the time I was picking up mopeds and motorcycles and flipping those to kind of ease them into me having another vehicle, given it wasn't a car. But once I felt I was ready, I went to Kansas City and picked up the E34, and this was all on my own. I went out of my way to do this by myself. I didn't even tell them I was buying it, and that is where then the modifications and my world into the vintage BMWs began. And once that began, it turned into slow at first, and then it turned into BMWs all the time, buying every old one I could. Once I started obtaining more and more old BMWs, and it kind of turned into more of a passion.
Yep, go.
Instagram to me was always just sharing my passion, and it was never, and I think this is where there's a fine line in social media between the people that just kind of want to show off and the people that just kind of want to share a passion to people that either aren't able to do that or want to do that when they're older or whatever reason. And that's why I started sharing stuff on Instagram, just to share what I'm doing on a day-to-day, cars I'm buying, and beautiful old BMWs. The people that appreciate them can appreciate them with me. I never posted car pictures because I didn't like to be that kid with a nice car at a young age. I didn't like to be like that. I didn't want to promote it. I thought it was kind of cringy. So I never even posted car pictures. But then once the Calypso came along and I started modding them and I realized the market behind these and the love for them, I started posting more and more on social media. And as the cars came, I just would update people on cars I was picking up. And then I was like, I got to figure out a name here. I got to figure out something special that's kind of funny, because that's I was kind of like funny on the internet. And that's where M3 Name is Josh came along. And basically that's a play on words, like me saying my name is Josh, but me name is Josh, but with an M3, because M3s. As I got more into the cars and as the collection grew, money had to come in somehow. And I found that parts was a good way to kind of fund that. So then, you buy a car and it's rusted away or it's just completely destroyed, and then strip it down in the driveway, and that's kind of how you guys see the nice things that I have. You couldn't pay me $100,000 to do this job ever again. I can't even film. I'm so irritated. Like, you guys have no idea. Urban lifestyle in 2020. You gotta have a little fun these days. The day has finally come. We are finally going to pick up the new car. It literally feels like it's been half a year since I put down the deposit on this car. Like, I agreed to buy this car right after like Christmas, and it's now halfway into February, and January was just so long that it's felt ridiculous. So we're here in the car. You can probably guess from the interior. I'm not gonna go into it. I'll show you guys the exterior when we get home. But let's just say I had high hopes for this car, and this car has absolutely met every single expectation I had. You see that interior color. I can't even, I'm so freaking excited right now. Just following your dream, I think, is important, and my dream would be to be able to enjoy cars every day, and not only on the weekends or only after work. So that's where kind of YouTube started, and it was like, if people are telling me they like what I'm doing and what I'm doing brings in people, why not try to kind of turn that into something? So I figured I'll start YouTube as a way to see how it goes and film what I'm doing anyway, help people learn things, help share things. And then if it turns into something where it can make money, perfect. If it doesn't, all I'm doing is documenting basically my life for the past couple of years. And I think that's the coolest thing ever, is to be able to, when I'm older, look back and see stupid things I was doing as a 20-year-old kid. So I would love for it to be able to turn into something like the big YouTubers, where it's their full living. They don't have to do anything work-wise. They get to wake up, go build a cool old car, and basically enjoy it. And I think that would be the greatest accomplishment in life, is to get to that point. That is what I strive for with it, but at the end of the day, it's more so just enjoying what I have. If you really put your all into one thing and your passion and you follow it, I think it'll get you somewhere. It might change along the way, but I do think that you can really dial in a passion and kind of get there. Everyone will always tell you it's not easy. You got to work day in, day out, and I mean, that is true. If you want to be somewhere, and even I struggle with this, I struggle with getting lazy and kind of slowing down. But if you really want it, I think you can go get it. If you can make do with what you got, and I think you can turn it into something. And you might have to give up a lot of stuff. I mean, I've given up a lot of my time into these cars. I've been traveling, the Midwest, picking up cars, spending Friday nights, Saturday nights, and I'm still on that hope. This isn't to say I've gotten anywhere that, is stable or anything, but if you want to get there, I think you can work there and get there. And I don't know if I missed the mark on this question completely, but this is kind of just how my head started working as you brought it up. So